Welcome to Compassion Speaks, where we give a voice to the nonprofits in the community. I'm your host, Stephanie Player, and today on our show we have Sherry Beardsley, and she is the second vice president of the White Mountain Women's Club and also the current president of the General Federation of Women's Clubs. Welcome, Sherry.
Welcome. I just have to clarify, though, I'm the president of the Northern District of the General Federation of Women's
Northern
Club.
District, yes, that's true. You guys have different districts
We
set
do.
up. Maybe one day you'll be president of the entire General Federation. Sorry for that slip up.
That's okay. I just wanted to clarify. Someone saw that and they'd be calling me, did you get a promotion?
No false advertising here. All right, so yeah, let's jump right into it. I am aware of the White Mountain Women's Club. I've been to several of your different functions over the years, but a lot of our viewers may not be familiar with it. And after today's show, I'm hoping that you're going to get some phone calls for possibly new membership, people who want to get involved and help out in some way. So let's just get right down to the nitty-gritty. What is the White Mountain Women's Club and what do you guys do?
Well, we've been on this mountain for this June will be 52 years.
Wow.
Helping the community and helping the charities and scholarships for our youth. We're part of a larger corporation, which is the General Federation of Women's Clubs, which has existed for over 125 years.
Amazing.
It is amazing, and we are over almost 5,000 clubs and over 100,000 people worldwide.
Oh my goodness. Wow, what an amazing organization to be a part of and to have representation up here on this mountain as well. Something historic. So yeah, what is it that you guys do? You mentioned that you help charities and you work on scholarships for local students here, but how does that work? How do you guys do that?
Well, we do that with our fundraising. We have 4 big events every year that we fundraise for. And when the charities call, when Salvation Army calls and says, oh my goodness, we're out of diapers, can you help us? Then we ask our members and we'll have a big diaper drive and we get them diapers. Or when Dina used to call at the Humane Society and say, Sherry, we're out of puppy kitten food, can you help us? We ask our members to help bring items that they can use, and we also give out money to the charities. We write checks as well, and we try to help the community in many ways. We have a pause reading program. One of our members has a therapy dog, beautiful golden shepherd named Parker, and she reads to the children. Everyone loves Parker. And we do Thanksgiving baskets for the folks that maybe having difficulties in their lives. So at Thanksgiving time last year, I think we donated about 35 Thanksgiving baskets, complete with turkey and everything.
Oh, all the fixins.
All the fixins. And then at Christmas, we do a senior tree. Salvation Army, many people don't know this, but Walmart not only has an angel tree, they have a senior tree.
Oh, what a wonderful idea.
It is.
Oh.
And so we set up a tree at our November meeting, and we put these tags that we get from the Salvation Army on them, and our members take tags and we have a good time shopping. They don't want a lot, but they want something. They want new slippers, or they need new socks, or a lot of them like candy and soda pop, or not fancy, but nice fragrant spritzers or something. So we go out of our way to give them whatever the tag is that we have chosen, and then we give it to Salvation Army, and they wrap each package individually for each individual person, and they get to open it on Christmas morning.
Oh, how wonderful.
It is. It's heartwarming, and then we raise money for the scholarships. We give Blue Ridge High School, Shoalo High School, NPC all scholarships. We also sent 2 girls to state last year, 2 girls to Hobie, and we also participate in the school's lock-ins. I always say lock-outs, but lock-ins for their senior nights. And then we had a call come from a teacher. There was a student who had an unfortunate accident, and her family was trying to deal with that, and they just didn't have the money to pay for this girl's books. Evidently she'd lost some books, and they weren't going to let her graduate high school and walk with her class without paying for the books.
Oh.
So they called us and we said, oh, we'll be right down with the check. $200, no problem.
Oh,
So we just help in little ways a lot of times. You know, we do some of our events at the Nature Center to help promote the Nature Center and to get more visibility. We did our big Cup of Cheer last December boutique and cookie walk at the Nature Center. We're doing our junk sale this year in August 13th at the Nature Center.
awesome.
We have our big home and garden tour on July 23rd this year. Last year we had John Corder's house, and what a surprise that was. It's a mini western town.
Oh, how wonderful.
It was. They had a horse, a mock horse in a bunkhouse, in an old garage and an outhouse. And
Can't forget the outhouse.
can't forget the outhouse
a
and a
necessity.
beautiful garden. So it was really a fun, and we had such a big surprise and a big support of the home and garden tour last year. In fact, Christopher's Gardens cooked over 400 hot dogs
Oh my.
and gave
wow.
everybody a hot dog that came by.
Oh, how awesome.
It was great.
Well, it sounds like a lot of really fun events that people can, whether they want to get involved in the club directly or if they just want to attend these different events to help to support the mission that you guys have up here on the mountain, they can get involved in so many different ways.
They can, and we always look for something different. This year, again, our fashion show will be at Torreon on June 25, and we've got all kinds of surprises. Every boutique in town will be there, and it's a wonderful lunch, and it's 4 hours of fashion, and more fashion. So we'll be doing that in June. And as you said, our members join us because they want to get involved in the community, they want to participate, they want to help. And we try to help wherever we can, wherever we're needed. If we hear something, a couple of years ago, I got a call saying we don't have enough turkeys. So I said, hey, I know who to contact. So I remember talking to somebody earlier that said, we ordered too many turkeys. So put the two of them together and everybody was happy. So it's really, we help the community in just subtle ways. As I said, we're having our district meeting, Northern District meeting, April 2nd in Flagstaff. And all the clubs, we have what we call a Done in the Day project. And our Done in the Day project for this particular spring convention is the White Mountain Safe House. So there's 4 clubs in this district, and everyone brings items that are on the list for the Safe House. And we bring them back, and then we donate everything, including what our club has donated to the Safe House to help them out with some other items that, you know, money is good and money goes so far, but you could always need more, and there's always so much need up
Oh,
here.
absolutely. And yes, you and I both have been involved in the Safe House for so many years. It's actually how you and I initially met. When I began working there, you were working there as well.
I was.
And that's how we forged our friendship that has lasted for so many years now. And we've all been involved in so many different projects over the years, but we've still kept contact. And I'm grateful for that because I know how much of a giving heart that you have and how involved you are in the community. And that's really important. And also something that I mention on many of our other segments is how incredibly giving this community really is. And whenever we see a need, we have so many people that are willing to step up and rally and find a way to fill that need, whether it's for an individual family or for an organization that has a need for something. Everybody's there to step up, and it's just really refreshing and heartwarming. And that's how I always have felt about the White Mountain Women's Club from both the Safe House perspective and then just a community member's perspective, is that you guys have so many women that are looking for a way to give back to their community and be able to help those that are less fortunate and those that are in need. So I just want to applaud you guys from that front and how much good that you guys have done for the community and continue to do for now over 50 years just up here on the mountain. So congratulations to you guys for that. That's awesome.
Thank you, and I'll pass that on to the ladies because they really do work hard.
I can only imagine all the efforts that they put into. I've been to some of your meetings before where you've invited nonprofit representatives to come in, and to see all of the different passions up there from all the different women that are involved, and just how much energy they have in wanting to really give back is so. It's amazing. So you guys, y'all have a lot to be proud of. So if there are any members watching, congratulations to you guys. You guys do a fantastic job, and I know that it will continue on for many, many, many years to come. So
Yes, it will. Absolutely.
So what you mentioned that you have the junk sale in August.
We do.
You've got the fashion show in June.
At Torion.
And at Torion as well. Is there any other major events going on this year that you want to let the viewers know about it so they can go ahead and put it on their calendars and be prepared for getting involved?
Well, our Home and Garden Tour, and we're the only one that does that up here, is on July 23rd. And we usually have a pretty good turnout for that, and we always enjoy doing it. It's always fun. So put that on your calendar. And then at Christmas, the first weekend in December, is always our infamous Cup of Cheer and Cookie Walk. And it's a boutique, and it's cookies. Our members last year, each member, I think we made 20 to 30 dozen cookies each.
Oh my.
So we had 300 or 400 dozen cookies. We had a line outside the door when we opened it up, and the cookies were gone in an hour and a half.
Oh my goodness, wow.
So it's always been a big event. You buy a box for $10 or $15 or $20, and you fill up your box, and when the lid closes, that's it. And you go down the line and pick out your cookies. And we've been doing this for, what is it, 28 years, it seems to me, is our annual coming up, I believe. It's 28 or 29 years. We've been doing the cookie walk and the fashion show. I think this is our 33rd year of doing the fashion show. And our junk sale, I think, is even longer. I think it's maybe 36 years we've been doing the junk sale.
That is amazing.
So, and the community does, you're right. The community has always supported us. They help, they donate, they just give us whatever, whatever they can, whenever we ask. And then the members, they want to make a difference. And so a lot of members join, a lot of ladies join White Mountain Women's Club because they've seen we do make a difference in the community. We have a couple of ladies that cook for the Love Kitchen twice a week.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
everyone's out there trying to help all the different charities wherever they can, and anything that comes along that needs a little bit of extra help. Our members join for that reason. They want to help the community.
Right. Well, they're ready to go, and if anybody is interested in joining the White Mountain Women's Club, we will definitely put your contact information at the end of the segment coming up here shortly. So stay tuned for that. Is there anything else real quickly that you want to get out there before we close out the show?
No, but thank you so much for having us today. I really appreciate that, and so does the White Mountain Women's Club.
Oh, awesome, Sherry. Thank you so much for coming on today. It was a pleasure to visit with you and have you on, and I hope that we get some more members for you and some more attendance to some of your events, even though you obviously don't need any help in that arena, but I want to get you guys as much support as we can.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And thank you, and stay tuned. We'll be right back with our next guest. Welcome back to Compassion Speaks. Joining us now on the show is Jeff Wolfe with the White Mountain Nature Center. Welcome, Jeff.
Well, thank you for having me.
Good to have you back on the show again. It's been a little while.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
Yeah. We had you on last year, and here we are having you on again. I'm glad we have you on this time of year because I think we had you on during the summertime last year, and now we can really throw in all of those awesome summer events that everybody is looking forward to from the White Mountain Nature Center this year.
I'd love to talk about them.
Let's jump in. Let's maybe start, we'll rewind a little bit because most people probably may not have heard about the White Mountain Nature Center to know exactly what you guys do and offer to the community and to the local wildlife up here. So what is it that you guys do?
Well, you're absolutely right. Some people have no idea who we are. Some of them are very familiar with us, but The White Mountain Nature Center is a nonprofit organization. We put on what we call our Discovery Series programs all through late spring and summer into early fall. They are free events for people to bring the kids out, or even just adults. The programs will teach everybody of all ages. We put on series talking about our natural resources, from woodlands to water. We bring on people who will teach you about amphibians and reptiles. We even have programs where people can go out. We'll take the kids out to Big Springs, which is right next to our center, where the kids have dip nets, and they can bring up whatever they can find in the water. And we have a biologist on hand to teach the kids what's in the water, what's beneficial, what's not beneficial, what's indigenous, what's not indigenous, and that sort of things. To Wild Spirit Wolf Sanctuary, we have live wolves out there, all sorts of birds of prey programs. We do a geology program. We do a fossil program. We're putting on a astronomy program this year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, quite a bit. We even have an event for Apache culture, where we have a storyteller, an Apache storyteller, come out to relate some of the stories of the history up here, which is interesting because they don't have a written history generally. Most of their history and story are all done in storytelling.
That's
so
awesome.
it's kind of cool to actually hear an Apache elder tell stories of the history of life up here.
Right,
Pretty cool.
and be able to share that with those of us that are privileged to live up here as well.
It is. It's awesome.
Wow, so many things. Your guys' schedule of events has just grown and grown over the years. And you were telling me before we started that you guys are now doing stuff every weekend.
Just about every single weekend.
That
Last
is
year it was every
awesome.
other. There's been such a demand, and we've had such a turnout. I think we're over 25,000 visitors now.
Oh, wow.
That we've expanded the programs to get people involved, or at least knowledgeable about what's going on in the community, nature, the wildlife, everything.
And that's so important, and that's kind of touching on how we talked about it last year on the show as well, is getting people to get in touch with this beautiful area and environment that we live in that, you know, with technology and all of these things that sometimes keep us indoors and disconnected from that.
So true.
This is to really help to embrace what it is that this paradise that we really live in, and all of the wonderful natural things that we can enjoy by just walking outdoors and seeing what life has to offer out here.
Well, as you're speaking about that, we actually have one of our big annual events called Walk for the Woods. And that one actually is a pay event. I think it's $20 or $25, but you do get lunch, you get t-shirts, you do get fed, I said that, entertained rather, and it benefits tracks and the White Mountain Nature Center as well. But all the other events that we have are free. We also have members only events, and you can become a member for a family for a year for $40.
Oh, wow.
I know, it's cheap.
That's crazy, ridiculously cheap.
All our other
Especially
events,
with all these events that you can enjoy, you
Right,
know, you're
right.
really getting bang
Well,
for your buck.
all these events that I mentioned are free.
Right.
But we do have our members only events. We have movie nights and special speakers to talk about pollinators. There's been a lot of discussion lately about the decline in the bee population.
Yeah.
We have a doctor, he's a doctor of this field. He comes out and he puts on a very good discussion about what's going on with the bees and how they are attracted to certain plants and that sort of thing. So that's a members only event, or at least that was last year. It's well worth it. We have authors come out and talk about their books, about the local area and that sort of thing too. So it's very cool.
Very nice. So no matter what degree you'd like to get involved in, or either as a family or as an individual. There's so many different options to choose from, and so many different kind of focus points that you can, if you're only interested in the wildlife, then you can go to all of the different wildlife classes and events that you guys have. Or if you're interested more along the lines of, well, give me another example of something else that somebody could be interested in.
Well, just
what they would
forestry,
be.
if they're interested in the health and well-being of the forest in general, that's also a good one. If you're interested in hiking, we have, like I said, the Walk for the Woods, plus we have a class this year, or an event this year. It's called Getting into Nature Without Getting Lost or Hurt.
Ooh.
So it teaches you about the trail systems, how to use a compass, what to look for, how to, if you do get lost, how to keep alive, essentially.
Right. And that's another thing. You mentioned that the Walk in the Woods, that is in conjunction with TRAX. And TRAX is an organization up here that is really intended to help to maintain the trail system up here, as well as put markers up, so that way if you do get lost, you have a point to get to report to someone and say, this is where I'm at, and be found that much easier,
The
right?
markers on the trees all have GPS coordinates, and they have identification. So if you were to call and say, I am lost, I have a trail marker here, it says this, they know exactly where you're at.
And that much easier to get somebody out there to help you. Awesome. Okay, so so many things to look forward to, and I know that you guys have an awesome website where this schedule is posted. So any specific dates or events, we'll have all that information at the end of the segment, so that way our viewers can look at it on the web later on. But what else would you like to throw out there about the Nature Center this year?
Oh, well, I'm not sure. I can't remember if we talked about this or not last time, but we are building a wildlife rehab.
This is true.
It is actively being constructed right now. No other facility in all of northern Arizona is a true rehab facility. We have probably the closest is Arizona, which is in Williams, just west of Flagstaff.
Right.
But they're more of a zoo. They're a drive-through zoo, which is really cool. It's great because you can drive through the habitats of these animals and see what they're like in their natural environment. We even have an animal there. It was an elk rescue we did last year. She is now living there happily.
Oh, wonderful. I remember following that story as you guys posted it on Facebook. That was awesome.
She's doing great,
good.
which was a real save. But nobody else does wildlife rehab. Now, Game and Fish will try, but their main goal is to manage a population, not an individual animal. They don't have the manpower, resources to be able to care for animals who get caught up in barbed wire or get shot by some jerk who shot them with an arrow just because they thought it would be fun, and then they run off and they're suffering, hit by cars, illness. Nobody else does it. So we are building a wildlife rehabilitation center, and our main goal is to get the animals in, care for them, and then let them go. It's not going to be a zoo.
Right.
Like I said, nobody else does it. We've got the blessing of Game and Fish Department and a few other major agencies, and have had a lot of people call us about the rehab, wanting to do training there and that sort of thing. So we're doing this.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know that was something, I think you guys were in the process of trying to obtain funding for that last time we chatted. And now here you are, breaking ground, getting everything built, and really filling a need that has been for want up here for such a long time.
Like I said, nobody else does that.
Right.
So it's a very worthy project. And of course, it's my project, but there's a lot of other people involved in it.
Awesome. Well, that's really great that you guys are able to take these things that you identify that are needs and really be able to help to fill that need up here in the community. And from a perspective of helping to really preserve the wildlife that are up here that are either injured or sick, or they need that extra boost to be able to survive out in the wild. So I know last time too, we kind of talked about this. You wanted to put out a message out there to the community too about baby season
Yes.
and things to avoid during baby season. So what does that mean? Let's jump into that.
Well, we call it kidnapping. You'll be walking out into the woods and you find a fawn that's sitting in the brush and it's sitting there watching you, but holding very still. A lot of people think it's abandoned. It is not abandoned. If it's on its side and it's bleeding actively and screaming and crying, then it's probably injured. If it's sitting there quietly, it's being fed. Mom is close by. She's not going to come in to the baby while you're there. So enjoy it, look at it, take pictures of it, and then move on. Baby bunnies are the biggest thing. We get a lot of baby bunnies. They're in a hutch that mom will not return to until nightfall, and we'll feed them twice at night. During the day, she leaves them alone. Baby bunnies are not abandoned. That's exactly what mom wants them to do, and where she wants them to be.
Exactly, yeah. It's how they care for their young, which we may not be very familiar with because you know what, we're not bunnies, so
Right.
we don't necessarily
Birds
know.
that fall out of the nest, leave them alone. Mom will feed them on the ground.
Oh, that's good to know too. That's probably, I think, one of the biggest misconceptions because I would think,
Yeah.
baby bird's not going to be able to survive. Poor thing, I've got to take care of it. But you could be doing a lot more harm than good by interfering with that process.
Absolutely. If you take it and try to feed it, there's a chance it will die. If you leave it to where mom can feed it, it's most likely going to survive.
Right. Well, very cool. Well, thank you for that message. Anything else really, really super fast that you want to throw out there?
If you're interested in the rehab, June 2nd, we have an open house and you can come through and see what we're doing in the rehab.
Oh, awesome. And you guys will put the location and address of the White Mountain Nature Center in case anybody doesn't know where it's at.
Absolutely.
But
Go
it
to
is
the
in
website.
Lakeside. People check it out. Lots of good programs. Jeff, thank you so much for coming on the show again. I really appreciate you.
Well, thank you for having me here.
I'm excited to see what you guys come up with in the future because you guys keep continuing to grow and filling those different needs that the community is asking for. So
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us today. Tune in next month to hear Compassion Speak.